Hello and welcome to another side play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. So, last thing I did was Jenna's bad woot, and then a little bit of Leo's, even though we've seen it before. But now we're doing Cobble Walls. Now let's see, there's the cabin there. Do they go from, like, creepy alternate place of the cabin to the creepy alternate place of the cabin? Oh, no, wait. It goes that way. Okay. Man, I haven't gotten to this part in the thing yet. What happened on his last thing? Because we were in Carl's thing. But yeah, we go to this alternate universe. So, yeah, in the previous thing I was like, you know, maybe you should stand on your own. Fight it. But nope. The thing... Oh, yeah, that's the good ending. But the thing to get the bad ending is let it help us. That being, Carl's great-great-great-great-grandfather. Who isn't so great. Because he... Oh... did a bunch of stuff. I don't exactly like the idea of whatever is changing Carl... Whatever it is changing Carl influenced them. I don't know. It might be our only choice. I think you should probably let it. Yeah? Carl looks at me, and I can tell he's a little surprised. Maybe it's basically trying to help us, right? If it's James, he knows exactly what we need to do. Yeah. Or yeah. Carl sounds a little reluctant, but I can tell he's starting to agree with me. And it won't be for the time we're here. He just wants to show us his story. Then we can get out. I don't mention that a more confident Carl will make everything easier as well. I just had to make sure that he and Jenna were carefully kept separate. Either way, we are in this together. I'll make sure things don't get a hand between you and it. He sat there for a while, Carl absorbing what I just said. It's clear that whatever's influencing Carl, and probably Jenna, is powerful, and we had to be careful. Whatever he decides, I just pray is the right decision. Nope. I wake up groggy, my head throbbing from laying on the stiff pillow. Like last time I woke up. It takes me a while to realize where I am. Just like this time, if it's sinking feeling in my stomach, they realize where it is. And on the side, staring at the wall in front of me, watching shadows dance along the log bumps. It's suppressed though, as much as last time. At some point, I guess I realized there's not much else to do. Just go with it and hope something comes of it. At least there seems to be a goal in mind, whatever he had control of his. Whatever it was. Suddenly I feel an arm slide over my hip, then I stiffen. Because Carl was stiff too. Carl breathes in the back of my neck. What's up? I shiver as his breath on my neck. Nothing. Just thinking. About? A bunch of things. Carl suddenly squeezed my ass. Hard. I open jump as he chuckles. Dude, what the hell? I whispered, trying to keep my voice down, in fear of Raven and Jenna hearing. Especially Jenna. Carl doesn't say anything, choosing to nuzzle the fur on the back of my neck while he grinds his lips against me. I might need to censor stuff. I guess it was okay since we sort of made things official last night. What did we do? We didn't actually woo. Sorry, my throat's a bit weird. Still, his behavior feels like it's coming out of nowhere. Are you okay? He chuckles. Yeah, everything's now that I've got your tight butt here right in front of me. I turn my head and squint back at him. Are you acting like this because of James? Or because you're just trying to be more confident? Carl just gazes back at me with half-lidded eyes before he starts wiggling his brows. I turn away and lay my head on the pillow. Well, I think you're trying too hard. Just let it come natural. Ah! God dives in again and starts nosing my neck, running his hands over my body. I writhe and try not to laugh, but it's no use, and soon I'm getting full-on guffaws. What? Wait, stop! Aha! It doesn't let up though, and it's not until we hear voices drifting up from downstairs that we do stop. It sounds like Raven, but I'm pretty sure he's talking to Jenna. I rolled to my back in Carl's arms and turned my head to him. we gotta keep it down. I reminded the situation when I see some flakes of blood around Carl's nose and big splotches on his shirt. I guess we're being a little loud. Yeah, how's your nose? Carl automatically raised his hand to touch his nose. I'm fine. Alright. I lay there in silence for a few seconds, feeling the moment's kinda ruined. I look again at the walls, remembering that we should be looking for something instead of messing around like this. Looking for something? Not sure. Hey, we should be finding something, right? Carl lazily started drawing circles on her chest with a finger. I mean, didn't that ghost, the ancestor, whatever it was, tell you need to find stuff? Sorry. I don't know why my throat's so full of right now. Carl rubs his nose. Yeah, in the last place we're in, at least. I guess it would have been the same for this place, right? Unless it was what was really burned up? Yeah. Carl lays there quietly thinking. I think I might try to look downstairs. You might want to look around? Guess. I'm gonna get the other two starting to look too. I'm not sure how much of this stuff is just redone like before. Wait, about your ankle? Do? Okay, try that out. So I'm going on the bed. Foot. Think I'm okay. Alright, am I back downstairs? Yeah, because I've read what happens, but I don't know everything. Don't know if you need help. I don't want to, like, spend several episodes reading this stuff if it's pretty much the same. How's your leg? Oh, it's alright. Boo doo 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 doo. Yeah. He's more husky? Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, you two. I like you, but we wanted to look at the bad route. Find the letter? Did find something, huh? Carl burned it. Oh, well, I don't think Carl would burn it. He did. Though again, it's like, I'm not 100% sure. It's upstairs. It's in the room. It's kind of weird playing a game like this and then looking back, it's like, oh, I started this thing like years ago. Like 1 or 2. A year and a half. Sorry, what the hell is up with my throat? Allergies, maybe? This coming spring. Just for some reason, it's like, there's stuff in it. It has been a hot minute since I've done these. When did I finish this thing? It was like, what, September of last year? Okay. 2024. We had such high hopes then. What the fuck is that ram doing? Hear loud clomping from upstairs. Then come swinging. He knows where it is. What, upstairs? Oh yeah, that Carl found something in the stove or something? Yeah, and then Jenna tries to go in, and then she's almost pulled all the way through it or something. That's weird. So, wait, was it then the previous thing Jenna went for it and then she was almost dragged out, but this time I wasn't? I reach in the chimney, let her reach towards the chimney, feeling around for a metallic surface, make contact with a stiff piece of old paper. I close my fingers around and pull, get a little resistance before it comes loose. At that moment, something caresses my hand. Rough-tipped fingers that almost lovingly run up my wrist and arm. I open jump and bang my head against the roof of the stove. I fall sideways into the ash-filled bottom. And I'm on the verge of panic when Carl reaches in and pulls me out. The wooden floor. I had been imagining. Who knows what kind of shit's dangling in the chimney. Yeah. Alright, Carl. How'd you know where it was? Same way it happened last time. So it's paying off. Oh, well, we'll have to have someone give us the direction of this place. I think we need to find. I'll read this out. The other hand smacks my nose. I don't remember that. She rakes her fingers across my face. There's a pat on my ears and distantly reaches her drums again. She twists out from under me, pulls away from the bench. When the fuck did she get this strong? And let me keep my grip on her wrist, and she spins around. Use my grip and stumble back, stepping wrong foot, and redoing her thing. I hope again. Much more loudly this time, as I crumple to the ground. Carl swears and jumps over me at Jenna. Wait! I try to grab him by the hoof. That's passing over me, but I miss. As I sit up, I hear an ungodly bestial snarling, and look to see Carl wrestling and kicking, and scratching Jenna to the ground. Ooh. I guess this is one of the things. That is fucking it. He pins her there, while she rises under him, trying to scratch at his face. Stop it, guys. Raven is still standing off to the side, his paws on his head, pulling at his ears. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hold on a sec. I don't know why it's like that. But, sorry, Raven, that this is the bad woot. I crawl over to the writhing bodies, one eye shut, as each move sends lightning through my leg. I grab Jenna's hands, force them down above her head. Jenna, stop! Jenna suddenly kicks one of her legs up between Carl's legs, and he knees over her. Oh, fuck. He crumples over on top of Jenna, lying on her legs, as he tries to pin his thighs together. Little cunt. He rears back and punches at her face, landing a glancing blow, but it's enough to snap her face to the side. Man, I feel sorry for her, but also for Raven in this group, because he's gripping at his ears and having a panic attack when yeah. Stop! I force myself between the two of them, shoving Carl's chest while straddling Jenna's neck. It's an awkward position, but I'm trying to protect her and stop her from retaliating at the same time. Stop it! What the hell are you doing? I say it to both of them, as Carl tries to reach around for the paper in Jenna's hand. Jenna snarls at me, but it's softer this time. Her struggles die down a little, and after holding my gaze for about 10 seconds, she looks away. I notice a little bit of blood collected in front of her lips. Seeing the paper held loosely in her hand, I quickly reach out and snatch it back, as in case she tries to attack again. She doesn't, instead lying there with her hands above her head, staring at the ceiling. I slowly push off the fox, taking Carl with me as I do. He's not fighting more, either, instead, taking the paper from me and holding it firmly in his hands while he glares at Jenna. Raven. Raven sits with his fingers twisted around his ears, looking over at me. Yeah? Take Jenna upstairs. Take a nap, or something. I think we need to be kept separate. And then he coaxes Jenna upstairs. Scoot over to Carl. Pain his ankle. She's gonna try and fucking burn it. Okay, I'm just light. Earlier. She still thinks it burned that fucking paper. How do you know that? The way she's looking at the candle right before she came at you. And just like the kind of person, she's just the kind of person that would do that. You fuck up your ankle again? Yeah. God, what a stupid bitch. Carl. He looks at me. What? I've never heard you talk like that before. Well, I've never been attacked like that before. Not in this route, I guess. Still, Jenna, you hit her pretty hard. She kicked me in the nuts. Well, yeah, but I'm just... He doesn't seem very interested in what I'm trying to say. She's not herself either. I think the same thing happened to her. Same thing? Like what's happening to you. The ancestors... For some reason, deep down, I feel very uneasy. Even if they were lovers, something clear is wrong now. She's always been kind of a bitch. Anyway, I'm gonna read this while you can move the fuck on, alright? Okay. I guess it's alright if I read it kind of like I did at Dasser, where I, like, read it but just react to it. Met this John. I'm hearing terrible things like it. So you've been accusing me. Yeah. What is up with this upbeat ass music here? Man, first, James Hendricks was a horrible person. Who might be a billionaire these days. Are you okay? I'm fine. Are your balls okay? They're fine. More concerned about Jenna. I think she's becoming more dangerous the longer we're here. Well, yeah, I mean, James is helping you, right? He's helped me, yeah. But John's not helping her at all. I don't know. Is it unlocked? Checks the door. Careful. Get the others. Door opened. So we just go through? Is that what we did last time? Yeah. I'm just trying to keep an eye out for, like, anything that might have changed. The Lesay. A few things. Just more history stuff. About what? Stuff about the mine. Or, it wasn't enough to sustain the town. So, should we open it? Wait. Should we do this? I mean, it's probably gonna lead to another place. We have to find a thing, yeah? I mean, I think there's like, how many places? Because there was like, the tree on the outside. Going somewhere. Let's go. Need to reveal what happens. Oh yeah, is it like we run towards the fire and then shit happens? Lean on me. Dude, this one is kind of spooky in its own way, where it's just like, fuck, I don't know. We're in this alternate dimension thing, and just shit's happening. There's just something about, like, hey, we're in a world where only a house and a bonfire are, and there's something. And it's all a metaphor. And you're like, we have to fucking do something, but we don't know what. Oh, right. Uh, that she's, hanging from a noose for some reason. It's been a hot minute since I played this. Before I was like, did I choose the wrong route? I was hesitating at the door. And then we get her down, I guess. Hey, Raven. The bestest boy. Really wish it would do that thing like it did in Jenna's route, where at least a decent amount of it was skippable. At least it's not like that one thing where it's like, that one silly achievement in Major Minor where it's play through the entire game without saving. It's like, great. And it's like a good couple hours of just hitting the enter button. Also, how you get the good ending in that is just so silly. Tipping with both these things. And then we're outside again. But we're not out just yet, even though we're back to here. Yeah, because it's like we're back, but then it's like it's not a perfect thing of it. And then there's a body in a tree. The fox guy hanging. There's a piece of paper in its mouth, or his mouth. Hmm? Think this is also a thing? Though I don't know when things definitely take a turn for the worse. And because the guy hanging in the tree ate it. Hmm? Oh yeah, she has a knife? So let me have it there. Carl ducks around the fox around another slash from the fox. Generally, Hen isn't saying anything. Instead, her eyes are locked on Carl, teeth grit, and looks like foam gathered in the corners of her mouth. I suddenly comprehend what I'm seeing. One of my friends trying to kill the other. Jenna, try to stop. Push myself suddenly on feet, trying to get the limp after them. It's not much use. They're both moving so fast away from me, around me, as they continue their little dance. Even Raven seems too shocked to move, backing away as the two fight past him. Carl, Jenna. I look around for something, anything, to get to stop, but Jenna seems hell-bent on stabbing Carl. You're always a terrible fighter, you know that? Carl dodges to the side again, and snatches up the wrist in the paw that's holding the knife. In one swift movement, Carl used the other hand to punch Jenna across the face, sending the fox to the ground in a heap. Because if you remember or watched it, Carl runs away and Jenna tries to run after him. The cracking sound it makes caused the fur to stand up all over my body, and I limp towards Jenna. Guys, that's enough. I'm looking for the knife. I just want to get it away from Jenna before she can hurt anyone else, or herself. But Carl's already standing next to her, and he bends down to pick up a rock. It's about the size of a softball, and has a pointy end on it. He points the end down, and raises it over Jenna. Carl! I lunge at the ram, and tackle him around the waist. He must have been completely focused on Jenna, because I'm able to knock him over pretty easily. He makes an oomph sound above me before he crashes to the ground. What the fuck are you doing? I push myself over the ram, reaching above us to try and pry the rock from his hand. Desperately, I look behind me. Raven, get Jenna, and get her away somewhere. Raven's standing there, pulling at his ears as he stares at the fox on the ground. Help her! I look back down at Carl, and he's staring right back at me, breathing hard. Carl? I call his name, but not only to get a response, but also because I'm not sure that's who I'm talking to. He doesn't say anything, it just goes on staring at me. But he does let go of the rock, and it rolls gently from his hand on the desert floor. Carl, let's get back inside, okay? He uses a delicate tone, feeling like I'm talking to some unhinged stranger. Carl stares at me a moment longer, then lets out a soft huff, as through his nose in a half laugh. Yeah, sure. You're done, right? Yes. So I'm gonna let you up, and we're going back to the house, okay? Yep. So I get up, standing in the way of Jenna in case Carl goes at 4. I look back at Raven, pick up the knife, and throw it in the desert or something. I lower my voice, stepping back a bit, so I can lean toward the husky. So I can lean towards the husky even though I feel Carl's eyes are on me. Take her down to the basement, and I'll take Carl upstairs. Figure something out later, okay? Okay. Turn back to Carl, then reach my hand towards him. Dude, my ankle's so fucked. Can you hold me back to the bedroom? Carl lets out a grunt, then another half-laugh snort. Sure. He reaches out to me, eyes glancing down at the crumpled fox it does. I can hear Jenna stirring a bit, so gently pushing the Carl to hurry her check to the mansion. I look back a few times. The last time, I see Raven crouching over Jenna, mouth moving as he talks to her. We soon enter Carl's parents' bedroom. The ram leaves me to stand next to the bed. You going to sleep? Carl turns away from me and starts to walk around the room, looking at the walls, lights, and even under the bed. Maybe. I'm not really tired, though. Instead of sitting on the bed, I limp towards the balcony and look out to the glass doors. I can just barely catch a glimpse of Jenna and Raven moving towards the mansion. Jenna leaving on the husky for support. I watch them disappear underneath the balcony. Carl, I don't know what we're gonna do. I turn and look at him. Are you really gonna hit her with that rock? Carl pauses, glancing at me. No, I was gonna hit her in the arms, make it harder for her to go after us again. I frowned, since I can't really remember if I looked at it that way. He seemed to point it right towards her head. Either way, it's fucked. Thinking about having to incapacitate one of your best friends or mine. Carl starts to open the drawers of the dresser before slamming them shut with a loud snap. Are you looking for something? Carl doesn't answer, instead pulling the drawers completely out of the dresser instead. Carl. What are you doing? More silence. Carl! What? Carl snaps at me. I shrink back for a moment, then glare. Don't yell at me. What the fuck happened out there? Carl turns back to the dresser, sticking his head inside, and opening where the drawer once was, inside the opening. His horns clink against the wood. He tried to stab me. He? You mean she. What else is there to know? I sigh, looked back down my ankle. I'm sorry how swollen it is now, unrecognizable. I wonder if the sprain might be bad enough that it needs to be amputated. I try not to think about it and move to the bed, sitting down gingerly. I'm not sure if I want to put this as a two-parter, because it's like, well, I don't know. You know? I'm talking about the way you're acting, how you're laughing and stuff. Carl shrugs his shoulders, made vague by the way he seems to be wrestling with the table in the corner, looking behind it. The whole thing's ridiculous, isn't it? Kinda lighten the mood with humor sometimes. Oh, she's trying to stab you? Another shock, that, remembering the attempted murder, though it's duller, Carl yanks the drawer from the table violently. What are you doing? Looking for bullshit notes. Most is that's why we're here, isn't it? I reach out and grab Carl's arm, which he freezes and finally looks at me. I swallow, trying to think of how to phrase this. Carl, are you anymore? Of course I'm me. The ram pulls his arm away from my grasp. I shake my head. We know Jen isn't. Guess it's a weird, fucked up way. She's gonna snap out eventually. In a weird. Carl mumbles, rummaging around, and I wonder if he's listening at all. And I could sort of tell you weren't you either, but I'm just having trouble seeing you at all anymore. Carl finally sets the drawer down, looking around the room. He wipes his hands off his shoulders and then slowly moves closer before sitting down next to me on the bed. I'm still me. I'm just under a lot of pressure right now. You know, dude? I guess. It's strange. It's like he's someone who's trying to pretend to be Carl. The idea puts me on edge. I look away, thinking back on the attack. A newspaper clipping. It makes sense why that would set John off, right? Carl snorts. I'm not surprised. I told you earlier, they wanted to see the truth before we can leave. But wasn't that the truth? Carl didn't say anything. I shake my head. Unless it's odd. I don't know. Carl remains silent. This is stupid to think James would help me. I think at this point, I'm equally suspicious of the two of them. I lay back on the bed, rubbing my eyes. I thought that letting James help us would lead us to a way out, but now, it feels like I've just lost a friend. Carl's hand suddenly comes to rest on my shoulder. You're just upset. We didn't go all the way earlier? Huh? I furrow my brow. That's the furthest thing from my mind right now. but the ram turns to me on the bed, a cool smile on his face. What are you talking about? Carl moves over on the bed to the other side and then reaches out to rub my arm again. What are you doing? I watch him rubbing through the fur on my arm, picking up where he left off. Carl runs a hand under my shirt before pushing the fabric up to expose my torso. I can't help but react to the touch. Despite what just happened not 20 minutes ago, despite the way Carl's acting, despite that it's not Carl. Or is it? Something seems a bit more familiar about him now. My urges are made all the more worse as the ram runs his hand down my chest to where my waistband and my pants. I don't know if it's a good idea right now. I reach up to push my shirt back down. You sure? Not even in a woo? Carl pauses with a hand on my stomach, gently moving his fingers around in the fur. The bulge of my pants is obvious. You should be thinking of a way to escape. Still, I stare at the hand on my body. Well, we're not going anywhere in the meantime. Besides, didn't we come here to rest? Might as well get one out while you can. Take back what I said about familiarity. Carl's unusually confident, really seductive, and it has my heart beating fast. Might help you get to sleep. Something feels strange in the room. A low, surreal drone that makes it feel like if it was a dream. My movements feel numb, not like my own. My urges are not like my own. It feels all old and overpowering. This feeling, and Carl seems to be radiating it. At this point, I don't really know what's normal, or okay, or basically what reality is anymore. But I do know my body wants this. Maybe real quick. Carl pressed his lips to the side of my face, then lowered toward my neck. At the same time, his hand goes back to my shirt, that I've lowered my top of my stomach and pushed all the way up over my face. With just a moment of hesitation, I raise up my arms so he can completely get rid of the shirt. Carl pauses, looking over my torso again. You're in shape. I don't say anything. The way he's scanning his eyes over my body makes my heart skip a beat. I look towards the door, wondering if maybe I should check if there's a lock. Not only because Raven coming in and seeing what we're up to at the time, that would be bad, but also because Jenna seeing this in the state her minds are in would be a disaster. How fucking mature that I am that I'm doing this right now. Carl, I don't know if it's a good idea right now. What if Raven or... What, you think Raven snuck off in the cabin to beat one out? You deserve this. I blush. I'm just helping you out. I sigh and don't say anything as Carl starts kissing my neck, causing my woo to twitch a bit. Carl chuckles in my fur, making me shiver. Pull your pants down and I'll help you out. Fuck it. I reach down and shove my boxes down to my thighs, exposing a woo. I'm gonna just do this. The musky smell reaches my nose, and I blush at the smell. I didn't exactly have much time to bathe over the past day or two. The ram doesn't seem to mind, as his hand immediately goes to a place, grabbing with a huge hand. Are you this wooed up, huh? He gives us thing. He guessed again. He feels really good, and Carl laughs again at his expression. Little sensitive? Here. Ooh. Wait, I don't want to do that. Carl nibbles my ear. Alright. He said instead, ooh. And it was quick for a chase. He lets out otter squeaks as he rises against him. Carl chuckles again, giving me a few more woos that, Stop. That's a hand away. Do. I open my eyes and see that not too much is on the bed. I heard my ear twitching. What was that? Ew-woo-woo. Carl's sitting up now. Dumping one of several pillows behind us from the pillowcase. He bit my ear. I pull my hand away. See that it's not bleeding somehow. Carl shrugs. Oh yeah, some people like that. Guess you don't? No. I frown at how nonchalant the ram is. I mean, it was really hard. Carl limps his hand off the pillowcase, then tosses it over me. Sorry, I won't do it next time. Next time. Take the pillowcase, and I hate it when people do that shit. Alright, I'm tired. I'm gonna lay down. A little put off. Instead of the primal urges I felt before, I feel empty, almost guilty at the thought of what we'd just done. I mind of when Jen and Raven are just a few floors below us. I should honestly go down and see what they're doing, but I can't really do that as Carl's here. Looking over my shoulder to see Carl laying on his back, eyes closed. He might already be asleep before I've pulled my pants up. Yeah, and see he's not trying to spoon me again like last time. I guess it's fine since I'm not really in the mood to be spooned. And he wipes on the pillowcase again. Pull up my pants. I'm gonna go take a shower, but too exhausted. Then on my side. I just go downstairs since Carl seems to sleep, but damn it. That actually made me go, From out a cacker in the distance. Pulls me out of my sleep. It's one of those little clown things. In the dark room doorway. Nighttime. By the time I moved this place, sitting in bed looking around. It's dark, but I could see outlines in the dresser, the bedside table, along with the empty bed I'm in. Where's Carl? I swing my legs off the bed and feel lush, fuzzy carpet. My heart skips in my chest. Am I back? I don't want to get my hopes up because of what happened last time. Exactly. But this place looks exactly like Carl's parents' room. I reach out for the lamp next to me and feel around for a switch, but it illuminates the moment I touch it. So I see the outline of a small person in the hall. I jump, eyes staring out into the dark hallway. A small fox stares back. I have enough time to see the overalls, the white shirt, before suddenly he turns and vanishes in the dark. I hear the patter of footsteps down the hall, then down the stairs before it fades into silence. I'm back up against the headboard, heart hammering in my chest, staring at the black rectangle. Quickly glancing around the room again, I don't see Carl anywhere. Slowly push myself off the bed and pad down the room, keep an eye on the door in case the fox comes back. I glance out the glass doors as I pass them to the back balcony. I can't see anything, though I do see specks of lights down in the town. All I could see looks normal as well. Swallowing ooh loudly, I move towards the hallway. As soon as he pushed me forward towards the darkness, looking the hallway down the stairs, but it's completely black. Move my hand up and down along the wall for a light switch. It went almost blind by the light. Hands down me. Shoot my eyes, force my way to watch the stairs. Again, see nothing. Swallowing again, ooh, I force myself forward, toward the stairs, and finally down the stairs. Trying to blink, eyes wide, watching for the little fox. I don't have my hopes up that it's real anymore. After seeing the fox boy, I know I'm still not in reality, at least not all anyway. Maybe I'm still back, but things from the other side have crossed over a bit, and that's what I saw. I'm in the kitchen when I suddenly see a set of horns in the darkness, moving towards the stairs before they disappear. Carl? I hurried towards the stairs, feeling again along the walls for a light switch. I hear clapping at the bottom, along with a voice, a small childlike voices. Summoning down the stairs, I called again. Carl? Jenna? Raven? I started to wonder if I've left the other three somehow. Am I alone here? Did I get separated, or we? Soon, I'm running through the basement hall, towards the sound of the voices, and with the door crawl space. Without hesitation, I unhitch the door and throw it open, to find the same small fox. I see now that he's just a boy, maybe 8 or 9 years old, in old-fashioned clothes. He stares at me, stoic and unmoving. I stare back in silence, then I see something. 2 towering horns materialize above the boy, and I see Carl's face. And then the arms close around the fox's throat, and the boy opens his mouth to scream. I jolt awake in Carl's bed. I'm back. It's bright again, and I look around to see the hardwood floor, bunched up pillowcase on the bedside table. But Carl's not here, and they're still screaming. Help! Stop! The sound is distant, coming from downstairs. My body is filled with adrenaline, both from the dream and from the scream that suddenly realized is very real. I jump off the bed and immediately go down on my knees as my ankle screams in agony. I have no choice though. I have to force myself to my feet, half hopping, half limping my way, and through the hallway. It's easier now that I got the walls and rails I can half support myself on. My heart thuds my chest. I'm still blurry and confused from being asleep just 30 seconds ago. What I do know is that I have to help Raven and probably Jenna too. I don't have time to dwell on the realization they made a stupid mistake going to sleep. That I've not keeping my own Carl. Oh no no! Stumbling through the kitchen, I hear the screams coming from downstairs, the flight of stairs, to the basement before being cut off silently. I feel my heart sink as I limp and jump to the stairs, practically falling down the stairs to the basement below. I squint down the hall, unable to see clearly in the darkness. What do I do to get a vague sense of movement in the dark? To the left. I move blindly in that direction, not sure what I'm going to find, or what I'm going to do. Carl? I feel along the wall. Then, I feel nothing as I find a doorway. Reaching out for the light switch, I flip it on and see that I'm in the weight room. And there's blood on the floor. I stare in horror as the three big splotches I stare at them, and I think I even see them spreading. I go down on my knees, not even feeling my ankle at this point. I stare hard at the floor, looking around, but not seeing anyone. Jenna? Raven? I call their names in hushed whisper. Footsteps. I'm hit harder than I've ever been hit in my life. The cold concrete of the ground meets my face as my limbs go out from underneath me. The feeling's rough, dirty ground against my face makes me crinkle my nose. I try to reach up to brush it, but my hands don't come up. My shoulders ache horribly, so do my knees. Not to mention my ankle, that almost feels numb at this point. I slowly crack open my eyes, seeing nothing but dirt. Something has my limbs tied, and I'm twisted painfully in some sort of hog tie, my forearms stuck to my ankles. The bright light shines above me, almost blinding me with how powerful it is. I can hear the droning on, fluorescent buzz that tickles the nape of my neck. I hear faint clapping sounds along this shifting with heavy boxes. I try to keep quiet as I look around, unsure where I am, or who is that's near me. It's hard to see through the bright white light, and can make out stacks of boxes around me. Plastic bins, I think, like what Carl has in his crawl space. Is that where I am? I'm not sure, because behind me the bins are large, wooden beams, against packed earth. It reminds me of the old mines I saw pictures of during my research. The ceiling is way too high to be the crawl space as well. All the while, I hear little giggles, whispers, and suction sounds. There are patterns of little feet underneath ladder clops. Slowly, I remember what happened earlier, the splash of blood, the footsteps behind me. Look up towards the sounds of clopping, and see a big form of a ram shifting boxes around, throwing lids aside. Carl? Wait, Carl? Yeah, whatever. Sort of looks like him, but he seems bigger, more shaggy. I shift my gaze to the darker corners of the room, wherein I gasp and see a pair of eyes staring at me through the darkness. A little fox, and what looks like a small grin below the eyes, barely visible. The sound of shifting bin stops, and I hear the clapping coming close to me. You awake, boy? I flinch, pretend to be asleep anyway, not moving until the ram suddenly crouches by my head, causing me to cringe again. It feels around my body, checking my bindings before it patted me on the face. I know you're awake, but it does not matter now. The ram stands up and starts moving away. Wait! I wince, not really sure if that had been a good idea. Either way, he stops and turns back to me. Yep, that's a lot of blood. I look up at the ram, though it's hard with the way he's outlined in incredibly bright light. It could actually be the light, but he definitely looks different, much bigger. His horns wider, and more grown out. What? His voice is different too, deeper, more resonant. This isn't Carl anymore, but I guess I already know that. What happened? My voice sounds tiny and weak in comparison to the big ram. What do you mean, what happened? Carl, James sits back, moving around bins, opening lids, tossing stuff out. Where's Raven and Jenna? You mean John? I don't say anything in response to that, still trying to look around. I keep catching glimpses of tiny feet and pairs of eyes, just on the fringes of the dark nothingness. Their whispers and small giggles are a constant undertone. He's gone. I turn my attention back to the ram. What do you mean? I mean what I say, Otter. I swallow my fear, trying to let the numbness of my ankle take over the rest of my body. Where did he go? James chuckles. I don't know. I use the knife and... The ram makes wiggly motions with his fingers above his horns. Gone. James shrugs his big shoulders. How? The ram shakes his head again. I know as much about this place as you, Otter. What about Raven? Who? The dog. Husky. Carl shrugs again. Same thing. Silence drags on, as the ram offers nothing else, turning back to his work. I work my hands around a bit, feeling a good deal of the give of the bindings. They don't really feel like any sort of rope, though, more like clothes. I close my eyes, trying not to think the overpowering fear take over. Carl, are you there? No response. Another giggle to my right draws my attention. I see another fox, even smaller than the first one. He dashes past the light, his figure blotting out for just a moment. I hear a slap, and then the snarl of James. Little shits. I watch as the fox disappears in the darkness. I stare for a while, quietly venturing another question. Who are they? Another pair of eyes dance around me behind the light. James doesn't respond. I remember the newspaper clippings about the missing boys. Serial killer. Well, can't find all of them, but this is probably enough. I hear some rustling, then a huge jumble of thuds and clattering sounds as James dumps a bin into dirt-covered ground. The ram stomps off, disappearing behind the light. Things go quiet for a moment, a sign from the distant clopping of the ram's footsteps. Then the whispering starts up again, and I feel several pairs of eyes on me. First one, then two, then 5 tiny figures appear in front of the light. I can hear more behind me. Who are you? Please. I try to cringe into a tight ball, but the bindings have me terribly exposed. They're all dressed in old-fashioned clothes, overalls, denim. Some are shirtless. Maybe it's Masetta. What do you want? I close my eyes, waiting, wondering if maybe they'll kill me. It'd probably be for the best. I'm tired of this nightmare. Fingers start poking at my wrists. Hey! Try to jerk away, but as I do, my left hand slips out of the bindings. I pause, then a loud bang comes towards the light, and the small figures disappear in the rush of the wind. Goddamn little shits. James mutters from behind the light. I hear the sound of sloshing liquid inside a large container. Discreetly as I can, I start to try and work up my other hand around, using the free one to loosen up the bindings. It's definitely clothes. They're poorly tied together. The sloshing gets a bit louder as James steps in front of the floodlight. Then he tips the container he's holding in upside down and see a long nozzle, light shine through the translucent neck. I realize that it's clear liquid pouring onto the pile James had made. The smell of gasoline hits my nose as I start to panic. Carl, wait, stop. The other hand pops free, and I start to writhe around, but it's my legs I need to get me out of here. Carl, James, please, don't do this. Can you let me go first? James moves away from the pile to pour the gas on the other bins. Why are you doing this to me? He flashes me a grin before he continues to splash gas on all the bins, walking in a circle around me. Getting rid of evidence. You're part of the evidence. The The whispers gets more excited. The children run back and forth in front of the floodlight. I would have stabbed you earlier, but I lost it. I lost it in that damn husky when I tried to pull it through his gut. Jim glances back at me. This is what happens when you meddle. Once Carl completes the circle of bins, he disappears behind the floodlight again. At this point, I try to pull the bindings wildly, tugging at my ankles, and internally screaming at every tug of my injury. This time, the foxes don't approach, and they just watch from the darkness. Help me! I stomp through the clenched teeth at them, but they don't move. I stop struggling, instead trying to feel through the bindings, tugging here and there, trying to loosen something. Finally, it starts to feel the knot shift a bit. My right leg comes free. It whispers crescendo, along with some giggling sounds. I hear James come back, and I try to keep twisted up, in my feigned hog-type position. The glow disappears in the darkness, and I see James step in front of the floodlight with the lighter in his hand. Sorry, Otter, but I need to thank you and your friends for finally bringing this all to a close. The man puts his free hand to his chest. I really thought I would spend a lot longer worrying about this all getting out, but now, here's the lighter. I can finally put this to an end. A small figure runs from behind the light, and with a loud smack, the lighter goes flying. It's flung in my direction, and thankfully, it goes out, and it flies through the air, then skirs in the dirt toward me. I jump the facade and uncurl, snatching the lighter up and struggling to stand. I'm just in time to see a huge ram charge me, his horns down, aim straight at my chest. I jump to the side, but get clipped in the elbow, send me and the lighter spinning through the air. James doesn't even go for me, instead disappearing in the dark after the lighter. I don't see a way how it turns out, rushing towards the exit to the mine. Mine? I'm just a few feet away from the exit when I hear a huge whooshing sound, and wind seems to rush from the exit, almost blowing me back. Breath is sucked from my lungs, and I go down on my knees, cover my head, as it feels like all my fur is going to be burned off. I look behind me at the blinding fire. Carl! I cover my mouth and nose, trying to breathe, but the heat beats me back like a physical force. And now, everything's real. I'm in the crawl space. The massive beams are gone, and the ceiling's lower. There's no more mine. I'm back in the doorway and get blasted with smoke. Carl! I scream as loud as I can, all the while still moving back. And then I see familiar horns, and Carl appears from the smoke and flames, singed but alive. He charges at me, and I see the rage in his eyes. I might be back in the mansion, but Carl isn't. I back away into the basement, out of the crawl space, ducking low as the smoke billows over me. It looks like Carl's coming after me, but just as he reaches out, little tiny paws grasp around his waist, his chest and his face, pulling him back in the crawl space. Carl reaches out, latching on the door frame, snarling with rage. His eyes are wide, spittle flying from his mouth as he fights to pull himself from the grasp of the small foxes. I watched and only hesitate for a moment before I reach out to grasp one of Carl's hands. He may be possessed, he may have tried to kill me, but he's my friend and still in there somehow. There's no way in hell I'm willingly letting him burn to death. I lean back, pulling the ram as hard as I can, getting a face full of smoke as I stand to get some more leverage. Carl or James grunts and growls, as if unsure what to do. His little hands hold firm though, pulling back into the flame pit behind the ram. I get weak, and my lungs screaming with the smoky air, feeling my limbs start to give out. And then something gives, but it's Carl. The hands pull through him, and something large and transparent gets pulled out. It flies back with a howl, and Carl flies forward into me. The door goes closed with a snap. I fall back and crunch, my already hazy mind almost blacking out as Ram falls on top of me. The following events are a blur to me. I remember seeing Carl staring down at me, yelling my name. I remember a blind stumble through the smoke, a dark basement, crumbling stairs, and 2 sets of bloody footprints through the kitchen and out in the night. We follow them, and then sitting in the desert, my head in Carl's lap. I watch his eyes glitter in the dancing firelight. His eyes are blank and far away. I reach up to touch his face, say thanks somehow. He doesn't look down. His eyes stay empty. Is that his ending? Yep, that's his ending. Yeah, sorry, when trying to do these, it's like, oh, I don't know how long this stuff is. Because it could be short, like Leo's thing, or it could be a bit longer, like Jenna's, except I could use a... Oh, that's them cuddling? Yeah, right there. I mean, I guess in this one, you know, Carl's house burns down, and, you know, Jenna and Raven are dead. And Carl's probably pretty traumatized, because it seemed like it's, that, a hand pulled James Hendricks from the thing. From Carl. I'm gonna drink this tea because we're sitting there for an hour. It's chamomile if you're asking. I like chamomile. You know, probably the best one was in Canada. Yeah, I don't got no eyes. It's black eyes like a doll's eyes. I really wish they did anime of very visual novels. This is so batty. That should be done. Hold on a second. There we go. Yeah, I'm just looking at things that are going on. But, you know, how about we do... Let's do this. Because I want Raven to have a happy ending. Where was the last one? No, where was that one? There we go. Skip. Yeah, where he goes into college and he's like, oh yeah, and then there's a school shooter, I guess? I don't know. It is America. I was in a school that was shot. And then he's like, you know what? The only person that can help me is me. Also, fuck James Hendricks, the foist. Also, let's go to, like, a fake diner. Also, we're out of this thing. Also, we're eating drywall. Also, James Hendricks is a bitch. Also, he's alive. And blushing? Ooh, woo. And Jenna is trying to kill him, but then it was like, hey, we know that James Hendrick is a asshole, and then stuff, and then we all go back to college and live happily ever after. Hey, that's going to be the end of this side play in series. Sorry that was a bit long and shit, but you know, it do be like that. Sometimes. My jaw hurts. And not from the woo thing. So, please comment. Guys, I like comments, you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like Secret Room, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of Epic Room. Please remember to make your animals to help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. That's pretty much it. And I got weeps. I can't think of what else to say. I think I've done everything in this game except for minor things like going, I want a strawberry milkshake instead of something else. Or, you know, stuff. Basically, I did all the whoops. All of them. That's the sound of a train. Hey, at least Raven's alive. I mean, everyone got a happy ending except for Flynn. You know? Because let's look back at the thing we got. Boop. Let's see. In his roots, everyone just kind of fucks off. Like, these guys, he stays where he is, she goes somewhere else. He's like, oh yeah, I've been avoiding you, Chula, because I was jealous. And then he's traumatized again because we kill him. Let's see, his roots. Everyone gets on the train and leaves, gets the fuck out of there. In the good route. Jenna's route. We save the town, no one else... Oh, lots of people die, but save the town? I don't know. It's probably a good idea that it was flooded, and Heather wasn't going anywhere with life. Then, also it is kind of weird that, like, somehow all you need is a manual, and these people were just, like, in the weird state of mind. It's like, yeah, wait, just get us a little manual and we can flood the town, right? It's like, okay. And then you got Carl here, where everybody's alive and doing okay. And then you got Flynn's route, where he becomes the smoke monster. You know. This guy. It's like, I wouldn't have thought of it, because, like, even if it's like, yeah, his eyes are poked out and stuff like that, he still has a muzzle, while this guy not so much. And then you got this guy right here, who, you know, it is a spooky thing to read before going to bed. You know? And then this guy here, who also has his eyes gouged out, but he was a terrible person, so I'm glad he's dead. At least in that route. And it's just weird, it's like, oh yeah, there's something about UFOs, I guess. I don't know. I wonder if you did his routes, if you see this too, if it'll lock here or if it doesn't, you know? Now this is a game and a half. I mean, I did complete it, like, when did I finish, like, all of it? Oh, January of this year. Hyena. Oh, anyways, yeah. I think I said all that stuff. And until next time, another side play. Me, GamerWolfSix. Some of the game, I guess. So thanks and see ya.